Okay, we did it. The button has been pushed and we're live. So here we are. What the heck? Um, I guess we're going to do this.
Yeah, it's the last one. I'm back.
It's
Hope you enjoyed yesterday with Lisa.
I did. But yeah, so we're
She's
gonna
a perfect replacement.
yeah, she does a lot of hard work for the museum, so it's good that she was able to help us out again, and we can give her a little showcase for all the hard work she does. So what are we up to? So this is kind of like the ending of it all, that we're the summer thing, because I guess the equinox happened already, but we're squeezing in.
Actually, no, it hasn't.
It hasn't.
No, this is the last full day of summer. It happens like tomorrow, like in the middle of the morning or something like that.
Fantastic. So we did something right.
Yeah.
That's great. And hello to you, Ruben. It's good to see you.
Thank you for joining us for the last segment.
There's going to be more. We'll see what happens. I think I might want to do a book report of what I did over my pandemic summer. Just because, the overview thing might be useful rather than the detailed level that we're getting into here. Okay, so I'm going to push that. Okay, so we're here. We are on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter /Periscope, and we welcome you all to make comments, and it will all appear on our screen over here. So we welcome your interacting. We like interacting with people. Tom is back, Lynn. That's right. Lynn's on Facebook too, and Tom got to drive his car a long distance after all these months, right?
It was down in New Jersey at the Comic Art Con, and scanned 20 new pages of art for the archive. So the stuff that you see, the original art, is the effort of both Rand and I trying to archive everything. So this was the first show, probably the last of the year. Maybe not. Maybe there might be one in LA, but it was well done. It was a small show and pretty safe. Everybody kept their distance, so it was good.
So right. So we're gonna kind of cover the quite a lot of stuff. I spent a long time pulling together this presentation today, researching, looking for fun little tidbits for side-by-sides and so on. There's one slide coming up that's like half and half, but because I really just realized that I had it like 5 minutes before Tom and I are talking. He's like, "Oh no, we have that." And I'm like, "Oh geez, we do." Okay.
Which one?
This one Hungry Dogs page. So we're gonna. So let's kick off the shenanigans here. So we've been celebrating 50 years of Jack Kirby's Fourth World. The first few issues came out at the end of 1970, and we decided that was something we would do for the summer, since we're all sitting around like looking at our computers. So yeah, so let's do something about the Fourth World, and we took on the whole live streaming thing. Mike, our fellow trustee, helped us out quite a bit with some technology stuff, and we were off and running. So what did we do? Oh, we also did 3 days for 103, what would have been Jack Kirby's 103rd birthday, 26-hour-long episodes. Fantastic stuff. Check out our YouTube channel for all kinds of great interviews with people. Ray Wyman Jr., Eric Larson, James Romberger. I still have to edit James.
Just to name a few.
Sidney Heifler. Just Alana Levin. Just great stuff. Really, really great. So please check out our YouTube channel for a bunch of those things. David Russell. Who else? Rob Liefeld. Oh my God. Tom Scioli. It was just great. So then we just to backtrack over all the stuff that we've done. There's here's what we started, I believe, back in early June. Even before the summer started, we did that. And fired up a bunch of episodes. We spoke with Mike Royer. We just started going through them all. all kinds of all the new gods, forever people. We ended up clumping Jimmy Olsen together because they're funny. I don't know why. It made it easier. We kind of like the idea we could do an hour 3 issues in about an hour. So we'll separate out the new gods, Mr. Miracle, and forever people. We'll do those individually as a group of 3. But Jimmy Olsen was like, no, let's do 3 of them together. So anyhow, it was really fun. We did the pact. I mean, there's all kinds of ideas that come out of this. Thinking about doing the demon in October. Kind of just kind of look at Jack's demon. Might be a fun thing to do. We were thinking about having special theme episodes for like, just let's get together and talk about the pact. And then have a bunch of people with us rather than just me and Tom. Like, you've heard us go on about it already. So,
Gotta
right?
be sick of us by now.
Yeah, really. Come on. So, we'll see how that goes. And then next year we'll just we'll just do Commandy like every day. We'll do.
Oh my God! Don't say that. There's 40 issues of that.
40 issues. We'll just start in January, and we'll. No, that's not going to happen.
I think we should do a poll at some point and ask what people might want to. Yeah,
polls are fun. Oh man! So then we did the Escape from the Fourth World. Had a special guest, my lovely bride Lisa. She's a #1 volunteer. Works really hard helping the museum. Helps us lug things to conventions. Helps us set up the booth. Helps us with the folding of the T-shirts over at the storage space, archive space. So don't let anybody tell you that we're a virtual museum. We do pay rent on space, so we just don't have an exhibit space that's open to the public.
Yep. And I had to say that about 3 times yesterday.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Where are you located? Where are you located?
No exhibit space, nothing open to the public,
Yeah, I said we're located in Hoboken. We have a collection space, but we don't have any exhibit space.
Right.
Can I go see it? No. There's nothing to see. Everything's in boxes.
Special request, scholarship, like, writing a book, writing a paper, doing a movie. Sure, we can work something out. But you just want to see Looky-Loo? No, not going to happen. So we did 6 issues of Mr. Miracle yesterday. Just, here's some art. Look at some art. Weird stories. Mr. Fez, Mr. Vac. We got the Mr. Vacuum joke in there, Tom. Just in honor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't as snappy as I had hoped. But one thing I remembered was the Mr. Vac. People have often brought up that one panel of Mr. Vac with his claws coming out of his hand. That was like a precursor for Wolverine.
Oh,
yeah, and it even says snick. It doesn't say snicked. But yeah, whatever. I mean, it's an interesting thing that people talk about that. I'm not saying Jack Kirby did it. No, it's just interesting. People are like, oh, look at that. It's a guy with claws. So here we are. This is it. This is the big. It's kind of like the final beginnings endings episode. We're gonna dive into the last issue of Mr. Miracle, which I bought off the stands because it had cool characters in it.
Well, I didn't buy any of these off the stand.
Yeah, it's the only Fourth World comic I bought off the stands, and other than these other 2, when I was a really big comics fan and cartoonist guy. So yeah, let's take a look. Shall we dive in?
We shall.
Okay. So again, please, like us, follow us, subscribe to us. We're welcome to make comments in the chat. We're seeing folks from Facebook right now. Hopefully YouTube and Twitter are working. But we'll see. So, all right, let's take a look at Wild Wedding Guests. And well, we have a lot to say about this, but it's really on the next slide, right, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, not him. So we do have a mega side by side here, and so here is the original art, and we can at least, this really doesn't make it all that much larger. It just makes us go away. So that's kind of nice. But you can see a lot of paste up. Don't give it away, Tom.
Okay, I won't.
Give it away. A lot of paste up, lots of white out, blah, blah, blah. And then what? So care to get into it, Tom?
No, go ahead. I think you're doing good.
All right.
Doing well.
So, so what we have here is we have Jack and I believe Mike inked Dark Side.
No, he definitely inked it. Yeah.
Darkseid's Fist.
And they also made his face different. They colored in some of the black, the open blacks, and made his mouth different and his eye, because the eye doesn't exist in the pencils.
Correct.
And they added a white outline around Light Ray and
there's a little. If you can see my mouse,
that's them.
Mike does not do that. Mike Royer.
Yeah, he's really, when he saw this. If you watch the Mike Royer episode, we showed it to him, and it was kind of like taken back. It's like, I would never do that.
Never do that. And I would also, they also, Mike, I'm sure, inked the crag here, the mountain.
They made the mountain smaller.
They made the mountain smaller and put it in a really uncomfortable tangent between the word balloon and the rock. Like really?
But it's a cool cover because you got practically all the characters on there.
That's what made me grab it off the stands.
Really?
Yeah, all the characters. It was really fun to see all the characters.
Yeah. Too bad you bought it off the stand on the last issue.
Mm-hmm. I think I mentioned it yesterday that I think I actually bypassed the Shiloh Norman issues on the stands, and we'll see. We're going to go through it. We're going to go through the issue, Lynn. So but it does feel very, very, very compressed. But I think I bypassed the Shiloh Norman stories. Where am I? What am I doing? Where are you? Oh, there we go. That's the one. And I think, clearly I was not what I would call an army comic guy. So I never bought the Losers or Our Fighting Forsters until like one of the last issues. All right, let's keep moving. Yeah. So again, they're like, what's this trick you're doing this time?
With nitroglycerin.
Make sure you don't tell Oberon so he can get upset that you're doing something. That was the theme yesterday. Like, okay, he's got a staff of people that he's working with, but he does a test and they're all like, "Where is he?" It's like, really? You didn't tell him like what the trick was? Anyhow, so it's common.
That's true. Yeah.
And
you just see him kind of like jumping from a tree after something blows off,
and they're surprised. Like, not, okay, so here's how it's going to work. Like, he doesn't tell them. But Shiloh is colored. His costume is colored differently. But when he first appeared, he had like this yellow thing going on with red.
Oh, really?
That made him look like Sandy, Sandy or Stunt Boy. So it's kind of funny. Oh, here we go. There's some pencils. I'm tending to just kind of immediately go to if we have pencils or original art for the chapter splashes, just because they're cooler, All right. Well, all right, Bruce. We will chew even more. Get ready.
I don't think he was removed, or his fist. Oh, why is his fist removed? Who knows? I don't know. I have no idea why.
Jack Adler had some weird, and Carmine, like they just were like, somehow Jack just didn't know what he was doing apparently. In New York, as far as the New York guys were concerned, he always needed to be improved. I guess they thought it was unclear, like what was going on. I don't know. So they're testing, and then there's an attack, and it's fun. It's Vermin Wunderbar.
Wunderbar.
It's, always makes me think of like General Burkhalter from Hogan's Heroes. You know, I ain't got an idiot.
I like his costume. It's kind of fun.
You will be going to the Russian front.
And this is a nice splash in terms of
right?
art wise. The way he the angle, and you're like inside the pit that got blown up, looking up, but it's also the pointed heads of the soldiers are like pointing up. It's just, I think from a design point of view, it's really nice.
It is, and you know, and Mike did some great. Oh, hello, yeah. So
Mega side by side.
Yes.
We must do it.
Let's do it. Enjoy. Feast your eyes on this, my friends. Oh, Mike signed it. That's fun. No, I mean, even the coloring isn't that bad, which is cool. I like the blue on the.
I might not have put so much blue in the background, but it's distracting. But otherwise, it's cool.
And then
they realize they love each other.
Oh yeah, because like
love story.
They've been together all this time, saving each other, companions, and like
wasting time.
4 issues ago, it was like, so Barda, do you think you love Scott? It's like, really? Are we reading this? And they don't love each other, but I guess that's because we know that they get married. In retrospect, but so like that's it. We've been wasting precious time, and. And
they have a sonic meter or something to find them. And of course, it's very sensitive. That last panel on the left looks like Suckle the Dog or something. I mean, just like a comedy thing.
It's comedy. Yeah, it's total cartoon stuff. It's great. And then this happens, earthquake, and they come up, and this is a surprise. And so is this.
Love hurts.
Yep. And then Granny shows up. Yeah, well, it's always a pleasure.
They use a gravity thing, a gravity pulse.
So he gets pulled down.
So he weighs a ton.
Yeah,
it's getting smashed into the ground.
Oh, Granny. And they were on Earth, right? So everybody's just kind of showing up on Earth, right?
Right.
Yeah. This is a nice page too. Colors pop. Mike took the border out, and there's Kanto. Oh my gosh! Oh, I didn't have the animation in, so boom, there it is. And you get to see, that's nice. All right. Kanto the lily-livered is more like it. Okay, Granny. Put that thing down. All right, shut up. I know, she's terrible.
And you got to imagine that I can imagine some people reading this stuff may have not read issue like number 11. And they just jumped right into this, and and then they get to this last issue, and they don't know who all these people are. It's like all these characters come back. It's like, who are these? Who's Granny Goodness? I never heard of her.
Well, then they put
so Scott wonders how he could have been taken by surprise and realized that his mother box inside his helmet had been destroyed.
Oh no. I mean, that's been his superpower for like the last 8 issues, is all about like him taking.
Number 11 is when he told him about it. Yeah.
It's all about.
And then every issue after that, I think that, it seemed like that was being used.
In his boots that I bypassed yesterday that he used to get out to escape.
Okay. Yeah, boots or mother box.
Lots of him showing the circuitry in his mask. Oh no! Now it's Dr. Bedlam. Great. Yeah.
And he's the one that used his mind. He's like the
Right.
person, Granny says, the person without any body. It's all
Uh,
mind. So he went into, so, you know, like I said this before, but if you go back, if you go back to like the New Gods, when Desad is trying to destroy a mother box and
Yeah.
Darkseid says they can't be destroyed. They just scream and they leave.
Right.
You know, you wonder how how it was so easy for him to do that, and why didn't he do that like a long time ago? I'm just saying.
Well, maybe it's just circuitry, like, you know, like a board. You know, it's not the computer. It's like a, you know,
It's not a box.
it's not a box. It's just some circuitry. You know.
Yeah, it could be.
You know. Farewell, Scott-free. Your friends die with you. Ugh.
Ha 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 ha.
We've done
What
it.
a face.
It's amazing. Oh yeah. Well, and then Orion shows up.
Yep. And corners them and tells them that basically, you know, you've been fooled. And we'll find out how. Light Ray.
And then Light Ray arrives.
So Light Ray faked the explosion in space to fool them.
He would do that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's a planner.
Yeah. And then then everybody. Then we've got Metron. We've got
Highfather.
And like the floating.
Because the Source has decided that they're going to get married and it's going to happen.
Okay.
Yep, Orion did come out of nowhere. But apparently Highfather in that mechanism of a flight thing picked them up in space, freed them from the thing before, and then Light Ray faked the explosion. And then they were all picked up, including Metron, and they all come down to Earth.
And he's leaving. So he and Barda are taking off.
Yeah,
they're going to
you
go
don't
back.
understand where he leaves to, but we assume that, I guess he's going to New Genesis.
Apparently, yeah.
They don't say.
He doesn't really say, yeah. Right.
They'd say goodbyes. I think Barda was close to Silo, right? I mean, especially in the earlier issues, like 16, I remember. But I haven't read those since I didn't have to. But I will.
All right.
I want to go back and read them, you know, so I've completed reading everything.
Oh boy. Yeah. You can't change Darkseid's moods. All right.
And then they get married by holding the staff, the two of them.
The Highfather's Wonder Staff.
Yes.
And
they're eternal.
Nice.
And then, of course,
the killer funnel shows up.
A storm comes.
Yeah.
With lightning.
Mm-hmm.
And we know it's Darkseid.
Is it the last battle? Is it Orion? I don't know. He takes off.
And this is great. This is another fun thing. It's one of the few times you see, definitely the only time you see Darkseid like really laugh. You see him laugh in one other issue, I think, that we had before. I think we mentioned it. And somebody corrected us because I said it was the only time he laughed. And somebody said, no, issue 18 of Mr. Miracle, he laughs. It's
right.
Like, here it is. It's like, I am the storm.
I am the storm. Awesome. He's got eyes that could stop a clock, but not a wedding.
Yeah, it's a great last page. And so it really ends. I mean,
yeah.
What's interesting too is that I thought, one thing I thought, like in an earlier issue, is that Light Ray, when he fought Kilowback, that he died, because it made it sound like he died. And I don't know if that's what Jack intended and then brought him back at the last issue here or not, but they were saying like the warrior's done and stuff like that. So anyway.
Kilowback isn't here though, is he?
No, he isn't. I'm saying in an much earlier issue.
Oh, Right. So there's that.
It's cool.
It's a fun
Look
issue.
for it.
Oh, and so then we don't have any Jack Kirby New Gods for quite a while. DC publishes a bunch of stuff. Whatever.
They do the reprints, the Baxter reprints. They do all
they pull these together in '84, right?
Yeah, so 84.
No,
I actually remember that. I remember seeing these issues on the stand in '84.
Yeah. So I pulled together some of the new content because again, like New Gods was the run that didn't have an ending. The ending was kind of mentioned in the last issue that there's going to be a big fight, and so for a long time everybody was like, when Jack, will you ever end it? Will it end? Blah blah blah. So then, 12 years later, DC published, did some direct only white paper, Baxter paper editions of these things. Two issues per comic, new covers. This is a fun one. We have the art for this.
Yeah, that's great.
Get ready. Yeah, that's nice. That is a really cool thing. We have that.
The Pact.
Yep. Turpin. That. Mantis. Great. Mike Thibodeau.
Lynn is asking, didn't DC actually want Jack to end anything? Not actually want Jack to end it. I heard something along the fact that they didn't want him to kill off people.
They didn't want him to kill off people. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they're marketing their products, toys, everything.
Right.
It's kind of why you'll see later.
Yeah. We'll get into it, but
yeah.
But this is interesting. There's a unused cover. Clearly cut down the middle so that Light Ray could and the SAD and the Blast could still be used, but they moved. They had Jack redrew it so that Darkseid was.
Oh, can you go back to the one before?
Yeah,
I just want to see that again.
So it's like using the same Light Ray arm, and the arc of the architecture and stuff, but he just redid it. So it's interesting.
But the one before that, you said the unused one. Two back.
Oh.
One more. Oh, never mind.
No.
Why do you say it's unused then?
This is not the cover.
Oh,
that is.
Oh, that's the cover. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Wow, I never knew that. I never realized.
I know. That. It's weird. It's kind of like one of those covers. That's like,
I guess we got to rename it in the archive.
Yeah, in our collection. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I felt like I needed to shorten this episode by not going full into On the Road to Armagetto. So I'm sorry if you're here thinking we're going to show all of that. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. It's too much. We haven't even gotten it's 7:30.
Yeah.
and we're getting into Even Gods Must Die, and that's really long. I'll show pages from On the Road to Armagetto. I actually tried to make sense out of it, like what was in there and how it got used in the Hunger Dogs. So the story is that Jack penciled and Mike inked and lettered a story called On the Road to Armagetto. And I think it was supposed to be in this issue 6. But the only thing I can find, like why they would want him to change it, was it was short. I mean, this Even Gods Must Die is like really long.
I know. I read it all today. I read that like, plus the other one today.
And then Hunger Dogs is like really long too. So they were like trying to get those pages out.
No, 80 pages. Right.
Yeah. So let's take a look at Even Gods Must Die. And we'll see some interesting stuff from On the Road to Armagetto. So yeah, it was, this is the big return of Jack to the New Gods, in 1984, and it's cool. I mean, you know, it's not Mike Royer, so it's D. Bruce Berry, but it's okay, But wow, talk about the two amazing spreads right in a row there. It's really, really fun. So Orion shows up, starts destroying stuff on Apocalypse in Armagetto.
That's just what he does.
Yeah, there's all kinds of action. He's flying around destroying things.
Actually, that in the page before that bottom left thing, that's the face of Orion that you mentioned was.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it was Lynn that pointed that out. That they
used right.
That. Yeah, in that at the last issue of
the reprint of New Gods 11.
Right. Instead of having Commandy's face in there, which wouldn't make any sense. Right. So, lots of action. He's attacking.
What's interesting I found at this is there's a lot, like for instance, the page on the left, there's no dialogue. It's just all action.
I like it. I like these kids. But this is I guess the big change is that somehow Apocalypse has been kind of turned over into something more mechanical or computery. Rather than just people beating the crap out of each other and tormenting each other. That there's more fancy tools and weapons of destruction and intimidation, which is what
I almost found it somewhat cynical about technology and the way things were going and everything. Sure. And that they're not warriors anymore. They're just pushing buttons kind of thing.
Right.
And they're very disgruntled about all that.
Yeah. I mean, so there are these mechanoids that search, and he's with these kids, and they save him, he saves them.
It's almost like the Terminator, where these things fly around, and these robots are like
That's right.
controlling everybody and disciplining everyone. That's cool.
Yeah, you can. I did a lot of fun digging around for interesting pencils. Just I don't think we see them that often for some reason. So there's all this stuff with this mechanoid and these kids, and there's trouble. But then we cut to a bunker somewhere, and there's the Furies, and they are in control. They're controlling them, and they're like not happy, like Tom said. Like we'd rather be out there doing stuff rather than pushing these buttons. But at least Stampa has her skull and crossbones back, which I mentioned yesterday that it left for an issue or two. Shut up, big mouth. So. Granny's there. They're Granny and Stampa getting into it.
Yep. They're playing around with Granny.
Yeah, they want to. They really would much rather be active out there. But
so they're active in there.
And they're active in there, and they get zapped.
Yeah, they get punished.
Scritch, including Granny.
Yep, they mentioned the fact that they were going to do that to her too. Something about
everybody's defying Darkseid's new policy of full automation.
Yeah.
So then we have more
technology. This is the I forget the name of this.
I don't remember, but.
This machine can probe everywhere, so it's the heart of all their.
That's right.
Their probes that go around and discipline people,
and then Darkseid's like, oh, if only Tassad was around, he was funny. And then the guy says, "Yeah, put this helmet on. We can bring him back." And Darkseid's like, "Nah, I can bring him back on my own."
Yeah.
Your way is weird. My way is weird and humiliating. So I'd rather do the humiliating version. Oh, really? Did she really? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Well. So the sad is back,
but he's not really back.
He's not really. He's a shell.
He's a shell of a person.
He's a shell of himself. But these kids are basically they're Jack. On the Lower East Side. This is Armagetto.
Slums.
The slums. That's who the Hunger Dogs are. They're. But then Light Ray shows up, and they have a little bit of trouble. Why are you here? Armageddon, Apocalypse is my place. It's not a place for you. Here comes the Sound Shark. Watch out!
Ouch. But Lightweird came to help Orion.
Yeah, and
because they're buddies, they're buds.
And this is where we learn that Orion's basically trying to break his mother out, save his mother from being tormented.
Tigra.
Yeah, and she's over in this place with this giant Darkseid head sculpture on the top. So that's where we got to go, and so Light Ray does all kinds of fun stuff to cause trouble with the drones, explodes them. Oh man, the solar spheroids. Yeah, the metal melts
a guy. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Gross. Orion still beating up, destroying stuff.
Again, not a lot of dialogue, just a lot of action, which is great.
Action, fun. Yep. And then it's the dog cavalry with Steppenwolf.
It's weird.
And it's like, where he come from? He was dead.
He was dead too. They brought him back. So I wonder if they brought them back mainly for toys and stuff like that.
Right.
No, it makes me think.
Business wise, yeah.
That they told him, let's bring them back so we can sell toys.
Yeah. So Steppenwolf is back, but then Light Ray does some kind of an illusion and makes them all jump into the lake. Go jump in a lake, you guys. And there's some comment like, this dolt is not the Steppenwolf who once gave us victories.
I hope they return him to oblivion.
That's right. And then these guys are like, all right, come on, man. This isn't the place for you. Thumbs up. And Light Ray's out. Thanks, pal.
See ya later.
Yep. And so then Orion's still kind of trying to get in there, and oh geez, now and here's Calabac back,
But he doesn't. It's again, these are like shells.
Yeah,
they don't have the, they're part. They have like a small memory of who they were, but they don't. You mentioned that they don't have the soul, meaning that they don't have the source.
Yeah, there's a restoration process. They don't fully return. They're like biological robots. But and even Calabac, it's like they even say like don't even give him any memories at all. Like there's a moment like somewhere where he's like, who am I? Blank out his mind. Yeah. So then Orion's basically breaking into the place, swinging this guy around.
So the inking is done by Bruce D. Berry, and Bruce tends to be very feathery about his inking, especially when there's a black to a black. He feathers a lot of stuff. Some like it, like all inkers, very subjective. So
yeah. Oh, this is cool. This is just a big freaking mayhem spread here.
I don't know what the heck's going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy and brutality.
Trying to stop him and shoot.
Yeah, and he's gone berserk. And then he walks in on all of them, and then it's like, what's a Calabac? I should kill you for calling me that. They're animated bodies, and then Orion jumps through a hole And he sees Darkseid, but then he jumps through a hole. All right.
And they use these little arrows to tell you where to go next. I thought the layouts are very strange. I mean, they're all different, and it's nothing like the 6-panel thing from the past.
Nope. And then again, it's like Darkseid's like, you don't plot, you don't scheme, you just leap at life like a beast of prey. And he's like, release my mother. It's interesting too, is that like the upper right there is actually what is on the cover of the Hunger Dogs is Darkseid.
Oh, right, you're right. Yeah, that's right.
That's not to come for a little while.
Yep, that's right.
But there she is. She's tied up on a plank, and there's some struggling. It's not like the epic, what you might expect the epic battle to be, but there is some conflict between father and son.
I just wonder if it was Jack's intention to end it this way, that, basically Orion gets killed, basically.
Yeah. And he falls.
He says something about a father can't kill his son or something like
that.
So
are you sure he's dead? Did you see him die? Yeah.
He did say Darkseid said one thing on one page, and I kind of missed it as you were flipping through, but he's talking about technology and how it's controlling, and how it's to be feared and things like that. And it just makes me think about where technology is going nowadays, especially when you think about, you hear news out of China where they have surveillance and they're watching everybody, and everybody's under control by these machines and stuff. So
I blame the algorithm.
What's the algorithm? Huh?
Whatever I see in my feed is all like the algorithm. Who programs the algorithm? Who watches the Watchmen? Who programs the algorithm? But lots of cameras around. There was one line where it was like, you end up hating it. Like you welcome it, you love it, and then you end up hating it.
Yeah, right. And then you fear it. The last thing you end up fearing
it. That's right. Yeah. You fear it at the end. Yeah. I'm afraid of the algorithm. So then that's it, right?
Watch out for Skynet. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Skynet.
So this is a nice piece by Jack. Here's the
then a preview for the Hunger Dogs coming.
Hunger Dogs.
It says a 64-page, but I thought it was more than that.
I don't know. It's graphic novel number 4. There's a nice painting by Greg Theakston here on the cover. I'm pretty sure we have photos of the painting being on an easel in Jack and Roz's house.
Oh, really? Huh.
I'm proud of it. Yeah. This is the title page. But it's okay. It is what it is. But here's the original art. Something called The New God.
And that was a poster as well, right?
I don't think so.
No?
The poster was the fight. Was the two of them fighting?
Oh, right. Okay.
Which we do have, but I didn't put it in. Sorry, folks.
This looks like it could be a poster, though.
It could be a poster. Yeah.
I wonder if it was originally intended. I thought it was really well done.
It's nice. Yeah.
There's very little, if any, distortion, and right. I wonder if he did this earlier. I don't know.
No, you know why? Because
the format size too.
Format size. It's the actual. It's when he went through this process of like doing some pages for that On the Road to Armagetto as a comic, and then that he was told, no, don't do that, but maybe you can use some of those pages in this other thing. So then those pages got expanded, but then there are other pages that we'll see as well that were done on this big proportion that don't seem to be expanded by anybody, that Jack actually intended it to be this size. Don't you think Jack intended it to be this size, or do you think it was?
Yeah, I definitely think that. I just wonder why. Well, actually, he went. It was so big that he went over the size of the actual paper because you can see the DC logo and stuff.
Yeah,
in the corners.
that's the whole goofy thing. You'll see that later
Yeah.
in some other pages where.
But it looks like it. But why did they take this? Well, they took this and then made it an inside front cover kind of thing.
Title page. Yeah,
I know, but it doesn't look like it was ever intended for that. It looks like it should be a poster or some kind of promotional thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, because really, there's a cosmic confrontation, but we'll see the ending, how it all ends. But
right. Oh, and then there's there's like the behind the title page, which I guess what is that called, the indicia page or the index page or something? I forget. Books has a nice self-portrait of Jack.
Yep.
Just showing the spread here of like if you were paging through it. So here's page 1, of the story. But yeah, I mean, final battles are fought in the streets. Final battles are fought by the powerless. They are decided by the Hunger Dogs. Slum Area 9. But we were able to scan the original art of uninked pencils of this many years ago. I believe it.
Well, I actually saw it in real life yesterday because.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, because the person that we scanned it from still has it. He hasn't.
I don't think we have a DNG of this.
Really? Oh, I could have scanned it yesterday, but okay. Yeah. Well, next time I see him, I'll
if you see it again,
definitely.
See if you can get it. But it's fun. I feel like Scott on the plank looks a little awkward. Other than that, it's really fun. He just looks really weirdly flat or something. I don't know, like he wants his arms to be more.
Well, he looks really big and out of proportion.
Yeah,
it's in the background, and his head is bigger, and his body's bigger than everybody in the foreground.
Go figure, right? But whatever. Yeah, it's cool. It's a nice pencil piece. Okay, so yeah, and we have action in Armagetto. The Hunger Dogs are revolting. The lowlies, the poor slum dwellers of Armagetto. They seem to. But then, of course, a button gets pushed. Destroy. Destroy. So,
to the point.
Yeah. And then here's Darkseid kind of like doing that, like, what? Why? Oh, man, technology. It's taking all the fun out of my intimidation tactics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Isn't that really? It's fear that rules the cosmos, not your these darn machines. It's like he's the boss. Why is he complaining? But all right. And then this crazy, I mean, they really encouraged him. I agree.
It's true.
These are scans from the original printing, and it was definitely angry fruit salad stuff going on here. And I was thinking the whole time I was preparing this, like, yeah, it could be toned down a little bit, and it was on shiny paper. It was a rough presentation. I'd be interested to see. I remember the omnibus, actually. It was just small, I guess. So I haven't looked at it like in any other thing other than the omnibus.
And the layout is really weird too. Like on the left, there's so many panels. On the right, it's like this X shape that's subdivided into like a quad. So it's kind of hard to follow.
I think they encouraged him. It's a graphic novel. Go for it.
Yeah.
It's not just comics, Jack. And then this, which
it's such a weird view of Darkseid with the teeth and all that. It's just kind of.
It's that late smooth Darkseid. I want the craggy face Darkseid. The superpowers, Theakston, smooth.
Yeah.
face.
So Mike Royer did he ink it originally? Is this one? Some of these were originally inked by Mike Royer, and then Greg Theakston fixed it. And if you go back to the omnibus that was printed, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, they restored Mike's inks on that printing.
Oh,
so yeah.
Because Yeah, I mean, I think Greg basically took it. So if anything was inked by Barry or Royer, Greg was gonna fix it and make it.
Well, you wanted to make it more
Standard, more
homogeneous.
uniform. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the work things he did was on the faces. Again, because we've seen a lot of the original art, and it's literally paste ups on top of the original art, stats basically.
Yep.
And I know a dealer who owns many of these pages. Actually, he owned the whole book to begin with, and then he broke it up and sold it. But he had a restorer take the stats off and put it on an acetate overlay, so at least they were still there, but you could see what was underneath.
Yeah.
So Royer stuff, yeah.
So Orion is alive, and he's a mess.
Yeah, he's not good.
He's not in good shape. But he's with Hyman and Becca, and it's just all kinds of stuff.
Hyman does something to restore him. It's not exactly clear what he does.
Right.
Whatever he does, it seems to work.
He's
and
fine.
Then he says about his face, you can't fix this, and then he mentioned that Mother Box can fix
Mother Box can fix his face. Fix your face, Butters. So there's Becca, and Orion is hello. So here we have so again, this is one that was drawn by Jack. Well, now that I look at it, I'm not too sure.
What do you mean?
Word balloons.
What?
Look at the word balloons on this page. They're all within. They're not in the edges. So maybe he penciled it narrow.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Some of this stuff is just. I think this is the stuff that was added to make Hunger Dogs.
Oh wait, so here's the pencils, right? Yeah, so it was definitely penciled narrow, because you can see all this stuff over here has been added on.
And it was mostly inked by D. Bruce Berry, but then there's fixes by
not a lot. You know what? Not a lot.
You can see, but you can see around Ryan's head here.
Which one?
Oh, the big panel. You can see.
Yeah. Oh, well, the whiteout. Talking about the whiteout stuff.
Yeah. No, I think that. Yeah, it's probably just a whiteout, but
it's whiteout.
I'm not sure.
You know, it's just weird because here's Jack's pencils, right? It's totally wide. The panels fill the page. The word balloon, like look at the edge of the word balloon. It's on up to the edge of his hair, but then like they move everything narrow. All the word balloons are like an inch in. That's just so goofy. I don't even know what to make of it. Man, I don't know. That makes it really weird to read too, because of those where the word balloons are. Reading Jack's pencils is actually more organic than this like weird, like why cover up his arm and we're gonna move on. It's just messy. I don't get it. Oh man, talk about brightly colored.
Yeah.
So this is a spread that was from On the Road to Armagetto.
That didn't get printed originally,
and this is it.
That's the Royer inks.
That's the Royer inks.
You can see it. Yeah, you can see the difference.
You can see the differences, and you can see some expansion, particularly on the right-hand side. No, both sides.
And Darkseid's face is different.
Darkseid's face is different, and the script is totally different. He talks about Becca. So that's
right, wow, that's weird on the right-hand side, how the borders. What is this, a color? It almost looks like a color guide.
It's like a color guide, but I think this is what it was.
Let me look at the reprint.
Oh boy, he's on the move. So,
because I didn't notice that.
I got these scans from like a cover to cover.
Yeah, This is the reprint. So it's different. They had added
That's the
borders.
reprint. So they used Mike's stuff. Is that
Yeah,
what you're
they
saying?
used all Mike's stuff.
Right. So this is the goofy Theakston stuff.
Yeah, the faces are all different.
Yeah, interesting. All right, we're gonna move on. Oh, and then what's interesting too is that there's stuff where this character, this technology character, is briefly referred to. I think in On the Road to Armagetto and some pencils as high tech, HITEK. Not mentioned in anything published, but it's this character. You're like seeing the hand.
Oh, his name is High Tech.
Yeah, but like somehow that didn't make it into the book. I mean, like really, this just looks like a total Theakston thing here, right? This big gurning dark side.
Yeah, I think it's totally different.
It's probably totally different.
Let's see.
Yeah, but but Kit, man, that was a lot of that's like an inch of trim.
No, it's not that much difference. He just changed the face a little bit.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Hang on. Put it back.
Oh.
Yeah, but Mike's is more normal. Yeah.
It looks better. Mike's does. Yeah. It's like, why do you need to? So Jack, I think, really was more about the story at this point, and very expressionistic in his art, and which meant a lot of kind of weird, like facial expressions and body and anatomy that didn't match, and a lot of stuff like that. So Greg tried to fix it all, but I think Jack at this point was doing stuff that was very abstract, and that's how he saw it.
Yeah. And this is kind of I didn't put that page in. I thought I did. But then there's the whole Hyman Darkseid talking to each other. Hyman is the technology guy too. They've been chasing each other around Apocalypse for years.
God, it's so different. Especially the Darkseid's face at the last panel.
Oh yeah.
It looks like here he looks like kind of like he's like, based on what he's saying, he's kind of like tired or something. And then if you look at what's there, he prettied up his face and he's just looking to the side. But in the original, he's looking straight at you, and he's just, he's talking about the micro mark, which is micro mark is this. I guess it's really small, but it also comes in a box, and it's a deadly. It's almost like an atomic bomb or something, where it could blow up everything.
There's
there it is. There's see the huge difference.
Yeah. I mean, the eyes, the teeth, the mouth is completely changed. The lip, the lower lip. It's pretty.
It's almost like a sad, sorry Darkseid, and it made him into just. Greg made him into just a normal kind of looking to the side kind of pose.
Yeah. I was. This is one of this center page here is unique amongst our digital archive as far as.
Why is that?
We don't have a lot of normal sized Royer inked pages from Hunger Dogs. Like you'll see what we have. We have those things with the stats on them that have been expanded and stuff, but not. So I don't know. It's just cool to see this. This is, I think, probably our rarest. And then when it's like we can track where Hyman went with that device he just stole.
And that's his daughter, by the way.
Becca. Yeah.
What's her name? I can't remember.
Becca.
Okay, yeah.
And
then they're talking about how they infested New Genesis.
And New Genesis got infested
with these like weird biological creatures that are eating away the forest and
swarming maggots. More than huge ailing carcasses. Yeah.
Yuck.
Yikes. So there's New Genesis. Very, very sad. And then we have Lonar. He's
with a weird looking
wearing
horse.
he's got wearing the outfit of the old gods, which is he's like I hope Highfather doesn't mind me wearing these goofy old clothes, and then whatever. It's what they talk about.
Well, they basically Highfather banned him from being on the surface of New Genesis because of what's going to happen. He knew it.
Yeah, he knows what's going on
by now.
Yeah.
And then they have like a model. Jack loves these models. I mean, we've seen it
Oh,
all through the
models.
summer.
We have seen a lot of models.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is like showing where, the planet where it's getting infested with these maggots, and they're putting these boxes all over the place. They're all those micro marks.
I guess, yeah.
And each one can blow up the whole planet. Right. So basically what Darkseid's doing is he's just like putting them all in different places around the planet. Probably just his plan is to threaten New Genesis, or I don't know. Then it's not clear, but some evil reason.
Light Ray's over there, and he doesn't really. He's just listening to them talk, and then he just storms out and starts thinking. He's got
because he starts thinking because he kind of knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there's always references to like the old stuff, like Light Ray surprised if there's no parademons, and he says it's of yesteryears.
Right. Where are the perils? Yeah.
He has to use the power of a couple suns or something like that to get through. They have a barrier around Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So it gets the crack.
Yep. And he lands, and he's right there. And then the boys engage in some horseplay, as the boys do.
That's kind of funny.
It's wrestling time with Orion and Light Ray.
And then they drink.
They have some food.
It's kind of funny. He's kicking him in the butt, and there's stuff coming off of his butt.
Yeah, like I
don't know.
Yeah. But then this thing happens.
Yeah, then this robot, one of the probes.
And then Light Ray reprograms it and sends it back.
Kind of like what he did with the Glory Boat when he reprogrammed the thing from the Deep Six.
Yeah. So,
and of course, Orion preferred to smash it to pieces.
Enough with this plan.
Because that's what he does. And it blows up the station where all those robots are. Yeah. And then he laughs. Yeah. And then they say their goodbyes. It says we're not going to see each other again, basically. Because Light Ray knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little bit sad,
Now, this page on the right is actually the first page of On the Road to Armagetto. Just as a curious note. So that's how Jack. I mean, we one thing that I knew, and I could kind of see it in some of the stuff that we were showing over the summer, was how Jack would create these sequences, and then he knew that he want them to be part of the story, but he wasn't really sure about the order and how these sequences should get told. So then he would do like a 2, 3, 4 page sequence, and then once it was, he would kind of shuffle the sequences around. So when they said, "Oh, you've done 23 pages of On the Road to Armagetto," well, why don't you just merge that into
add another 40 some pages.
Pages and make it the Hunger Dogs. And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll take some sequences and move them around.
What's strange about it is that his legs are really small.
Yeah.
And so he has that micro mark on him, and basically he blows up. Because they're doing, they're playing around and using subjects for testing, basically.
Now this page here. Actually, let's see what happens on this next page. So this is one of those pages that was also from.
Yeah, and I assume that blow up is the guy blowing up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here we have the Hunger Dogs color, full color with Theakston fixes. Here is the Royer inked and lettered on the page 3 from On the Road to Armagetto. And check it out. Here's High Tech.
Wow, High Tech Micro,
which I believe is actually the real name of the second name of this guy that we're going to see as we move on through the story. I think.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah, well, so that's the progression, and you can, I don't know,
So this was meant to be like a secondary splash page, I assume.
Correct. Chapter splash.
Chapter splash, right?
Yeah. So so then they're just torturing the people in the ghetto, and they
start revolting back.
They stand their ground and say, "We have a hidden ally." And guess what? It's our old dog of war, Orion. He's the wolf amongst the sheep. Well, check this next stuff out, guys, folks. So here's the page on the right that we're just looking at here, and this is the expanded page. And if you look at, you can see here where I'm moving my mouse is like a line where there was a stat that the art was statted down. I don't know how far down it went, but you can definitely see the line.
Yeah,
here,
you can see that.
Right? So that's not art. That's a stat that was then put onto this page, and then it was expanded.
Do you think Greg expanded it, or do you think Jack penciled it in and Greg inked it? I think actually no. I know the answer to that because the photocopies show. I believe it's Jack adding to it.
Here's a black and white scan of Mike's art, which is the center stat in that page. And then there's the pencils.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't even try to put that into a side by side. 4? No. 3? Yes. 4? No. So,
we'd all need to buy new monitors on our computers. We'd have to get like the new fold-out phone so we can get
curved monitor, Samsung things.
Yeah.
But, so that was really, I was like, all right, I have quite a few steps here, so let's take a look and see how to do it. It's pretty interesting. I'll just go back again. I remember the first time we scanned one of these Hunger Dogs pages where it's like, what's going on here? This is Hunger Dogs original art, but it's got a stat, and then there's Jack pencils and Greg's inks or Mike's inks or somebody's inks.
But those original centers, you had a couple pages of it. They must still exist someplace. We scanned a couple of them, but they must all exist, like what he statted from. Yeah,
and it's like, I think we only have that one that I mentioned.
Yeah, but the other ones must be, somebody must have.
I know. Okay, you Hunger Dogs collectors, open up your vaults. So so then Orion's like, leading a revolt in the ghetto, and Darkseid's like, what's going on with these people?
He realizes he has to get out of there.
Yep. And here we see the the character who I believe was at some point going to be High Tech, but it is Isak. I mean, I think it was always going to be Isak. But I think maybe
where's High Tech?
I think Isak had a different name. I think he took on a different name, but Jack didn't put it in the story, or it was too complicated. I have no idea. That's just a guess on my part. So anyhow, So Isaac is providing basically Darkseid with all this technology that Darkseid hates. Like, I hate the micromark. Well, okay.
And the micromark was developed and built by Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all. No, that is just.
But in building it, he ended up looking like that.
Yeah, there was an accident. We'll see
Yeah.
that. But
Here comes Orion.
Orion slugging his way.
The coloring has changed now. It's like so different than the beginning.
Mhm.
It's really horrible. The reprint fixed a lot of that. It made it more. The reprint's definitely better.
So, and there's the end of Isaac, and now he's giving us a little flashback as to how he became. You know, he was the inquisitive child with Metron, and then Metron showed him all this stuff, and then left, and he started doing alternative quests alone, unaided, and maturing, and they found the micromark. Revolution, then pain, and he had an accident in the lab. I still love this kind of stuff when Jack does these crystal-y doodads. Any kind of like DNA bubbles in tubes. Oh, here we go. So again, this is a stat in the center, and it's been expanded on the sides by Greg, I guess.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either. It doesn't look like Greg, does it?
No, I have a lot of I've seen a lot of the pencils and the full pencils.
You know, so
because in the pencils, they're probably like they're huge. They're big size, so like they're bigger than 12 by 18. And in the middle, you can see the stat, and then you could see Jack where he penciled to add the art to the sides and everything.
Right. Yeah, so this is going to be my moment coming up. But yeah, so Orion is still, I mean, you know, like what a great, exciting moment. You know, again, another Orion waging battle. But like just the expansion of like all this dead space around the sides just really takes away from the impact of the composition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But we actually have how Jack drew it.
That looks better.
And then this next screen, you're gonna have to forgive me on this one. I'll do it on the fly, or maybe not. I don't know. But we do have. Where are we? Yeah, so we actually have. I found the original art at the last second.
As you can see, we have to scan things in halves because this art is probably, I don't know, it's like 14 by, I want to say like 20. It's like huge.
Huge, yeah. Anyhow, this is lame. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but yeah. So that's what the expanded art ended up looking like. It's not aligned perfectly, but you get the idea. You see all this expansion that's been going on, the stat, etc. All right, we'll move on. So then Isaac dies, and he gets his old face back, like for some reason.
From the source. Yeah, the source does that.
Orion is kind of like,
remember him as he was and not as he became, or something.
Yes,
we must.
And he goes back to Becca. They have They're obviously having some nice time with each other. Oh, I need to go
Quiet
back to
time. Life is good.
Yeah, well, she's been hidden away. But would
And
you love me if I looked like this?
He
Well,
shows
yeah,
her his true face.
you know.
And there's his motherboard or mother box, which is really big
Yeah, yeah.
compared to Scott's that's stuck in his mask.
And they embrace, and then there's a big explosion, more mayhem. Everything's happening.
All of a sudden, the sky gets really bright, and a lot of mayhem happens. Earthquakes and boom, collage.
Green screen backdrop.
What? Yeah, the back.
I'm using in my backdrop. Yeah.
It's beautiful collage. I saw this. I think this is the one that was on display in LA at the show.
Yeah.
We've never archived it though.
That is true, Lynn. Yeah.
Right. That's true.
And that is true as well, Jeff. Oh, Jeff is on Twitter. I'm glad you made a comment from Twitter or Periscope, because I was wondering whether that was working or not, Jeff. So I appreciate that. And then, so then what? Oh my gosh. So basically, paranoia is Highfather's weapon, and all of Darkseid's people are getting paranoid. He gets back in his little shuttle,
takes off in the tunnels underneath that giant apocalypse.
Yeah. Everything is terrible.
We have arrows to tell us where to go.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
I know.
Yeah.
And then meteors are falling from the sky, and
it's just Armageddon.
Everybody's fighting and revolting.
Yeah. Brutal. Their anger is raw. Their numbers are endless. Oh man. Their numbers are endless. Their fear is contagious. Their anger is raw power. So this is a little blurry. I didn't grab the high res stuff. So it's but this one is not obviously. I mean, there's been some expansion. I think.
I think it's the photocopies. They just didn't include
photocopies to get the whole side.
Yeah, right.
But that I think the pencils fit the whole page. I don't think there's no stat or anything.
No, there isn't. No, I don't think so either.
So it's a big hodgepodge mishmash of
inked by D. Bruceberry.
That's true. Yep. You can tell with the feathering stuff. Yeah. And Greg probably changed things in the printed version.
Not too much, though. I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
He seemed to only do that with Darkseid's face and Orion and things like that, and Hyman.
A few silent panels. Darkseid shows up.
He kills Hyman finally.
Yeah, that's it. Leave. Orion's got his mom. Got his girlfriend. That's it. Yep. He's out. Darkseid.
I thought that was cool at the end, how he's you're looking down at him and he's getting smaller and smaller.
Oh, and then the planet starts dissolving. Oh, boy.
Well, it already dissolved. It blew up. So what they did is, so the Genesis blew up, and they did it with, so they detonated those micro marks, and basically on purpose, Highfather had the planet blow up. And who knew that Supertown actually could travel in space? But apparently it can. Who knew?
No.
But they're out of there. He decides to just leave, and just not even engage or play Darkseid's games. If you go back to the pack where he said, "I don't want to," I don't want to play Darkseid games anymore. So he doesn't want to battle him. So he decides to use his weapons and blow up New Genesis. And they take off in space.
And here's
the final frontier.
Here's that panel that's we were talking right before we went live about a planet called Hope. Right?
Right.
So apparently there's some page that we think we've seen.
It's in there. It's the last slide.
Oh, you put it in?
Yeah, while you were talking.
Scoundrel.
Yeah, so they're in space there, and then Highfather mentions looking for the planet Hope.
Right.
And
but then this is the last page. And it's like, guess what? Metron's got a planet. What do you know?
He's back because he's been gone for a long time, and he got he got a lot of knowledge, and so there's Hope. He's dragging it along.
And then
and this weird page that we scanned.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing.
So this is kind of like a farewell Exodus, like a letter signed by Highfather at the end. And this just turned up in San Diego probably about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out what it was. I thought it was like the end of Superpowers or something. But then rereading Hunger Dogs today, I realized that wasn't the case, that this was kind of like meant to be somewhere in the very end of Hunger Dogs. I don't know where it fits in, but it might have been something that wasn't with Metron, because the way if you read the letter, he talks about traveling and into the darkness and all this other kind of stuff.
An end to power and Exodus from Eden. This is the only. Oh man.
So yeah, it just talks about the fact that they're wandering in space, looking for a new home. They leave their New Genesis behind.
With the source as our vanguard, let us abandon New Genesis. Let Darkseid live with the balance of terror.
But I don't understand what the figure is. It's got this helmet on.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that thing coming out. I don't know what that is. And then like in the distance, there's some kind of looks like land, or maybe it's like super town kind of thing. I don't know. It's just very vague and looks like an idea he had. It's more like a letter of goodbye.
Right. We should take a few minutes and actually try to transcribe that, because I'm not having any luck doing it off the hook.
I think I did. I did at one point, and I think I put it someplace on Facebook or something back in like 3 years ago. But I can definitely do that again. I think I have the text someplace.
The Mobius chair definitely got a makeover, Lynn. I know. I was looking at that myself. Like, wow. Oh, wait a minute. Beep, beep, beep.
And I think that's the same Mobius chair that he uses in Superpowers, right?
Probably. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I like the original Mobius chair. It was actually a Mobius strip.
It's like Star Trek when you watch the original series and then you watch the movie remakes. It's like the Enterprise looks totally different and looks all modern and everything, like super modern.
Oh man! So it ends.
Now we can sleep.
It's an hour and 20 minutes. It's been okay.
See, you went through the whole thing. You said you were only going to skip through stuff.
No, I what I originally thought I was going to do, Wild Wedding Guests, then look at On the Road to Armagetto as a piece, and then say, well, yeah, and then they made him scrub that and turn it into this stuff. But I look at this. It's an hour and 24 minutes. So we didn't have the time for that.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah. Yep. I know, Captain Victory. Yeah, that'd
be a fun thing to do.
That would be a fun thing to do, because a lot of people don't know Captain Victory.
That's true. It hasn't been reprinted. We'd love to see it reprinted. It's like one of the very few things that hasn't been. I can't think of too many things that haven't been reprinted by Jack in the past 10 years.
All right, so we're going to do the Demon in October, and then we're going to do some Christmas specials.
When are we going to do? Are we going to stick with our Sunday schedule?
Oh,
So October 3rd, something like that.
like that. Yeah.
Oh no, 4th, October 4th.
And I'm still feeling like, I don't know. Let's take a break, but I'm still feeling like I want to do some kind of weird overview thing. But that's just me. Maybe
Yeah, we're
I'll-
talking about just doing a retrospective of our whole summer. Like when you go to school for the first day after summer vacation, what did you do for your summer? What did you do all summer?
What did you do in your summer pandemic? You know, just do a little report. You know, just kind of do an
Destroy your
overview
duck.
of things. Yeah.
I don't know about Destroy Your Duck.
Gerber's birthday yesterday that people were celebrating.
Was Destroy Your Duck ever like reprinted?
Oh, no.
No.
Another great opportunity, to be honest.
Omak's another. Omak is one of my favorites. I've always loved Omak.
Omak is great. I have this goofy anecdote that I made up in my head about people who made movies. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like there was kind of a thing going around about when you're making a movie and you're going out and you're shooting and you have all this crew and everything. It's like you have an army. You're in charge of an army, and you know that's kind of like Jack is a one-man army corps because he can sit down and tell a movie with his pencil and a
Silver Star.
Silver Star. Yeah, I know. 6 issues. The first issue specials: Manhunter, Atlas.
We've scanned a fair amount. So just to mention that the original art that Jack drew was very large again. It was even larger than Hungry Dogs. It's probably about 20 by 30, something like that. It's gigantic. And we probably have about, I'd say, 5 different toy sketches. I think there's more, but we haven't archived all of them.
Right.
Just putting those things together because we scanned them in pieces would take forever.
Yeah, I mean
But there's a Mr. Miracle one. There's a Dark Side with the ship.
There's like
all
kinds of weird goofy things like the SADs, like torture track.
Right.
SADs torture track.
Yeah, just for kids.
But the art is great, and it was so nice that Jeanette Kahn and Paul Levitz like worked all that out for Jack and Roz to kind of get a piece of the Superpowers New Gods action by designing the toys and stuff. I don't know the exact terms of the deal, but it seems like it was something that was very welcome.
I was actually I was in Western Massachusetts and scanning at this comic book dealer, and he has this huge warehouse of millions of comic books, but he also sells toys. And it was the first time I ever actually saw the physical boxes and the toys. I had never seen them before.
Oh,
so he actually had them.
That's funny. Wow.
Yeah. I almost wanted to try to buy them just so that we have them for the museum.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Right. Well, can't buy everything.
But they're out there, the actual toys. I'd love to find them and at least scan the boxes and stuff. Be cool.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Goodbye, summer.
Goodbye, summer. We
did
it.
This is it.
We
started in June. We ended up in September.
Just like the Earth going around the sun. So we'll bring it. I think we're going to do something. Maybe next Sunday we'll just have a Gab Fest or something. I don't know. Just to take a break. I don't know. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds good.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yep. Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, everyone, for bearing with us through this whole summer.
Yeah. No, we really appreciate it, everybody joining us and making the comments. And people are commenting even after the live event. So we'll do more because I enjoyed it. I think
I liked it.
You liked it, so we'll do 3 times a week because that was crazy.
Yeah, this has been the past couple of weeks has been a little bit too much. I've been spending all my free time, not all my free time, but I've been trying to keep up with the reading because
no, I know. I spent many hours making that presentation today.
Yeah, and kudos to Rand. Rand is the one that put most, if not all of these presents. I put a couple together, but Rand did most of them.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Especially like, this one.
It's crazy. It's like, what was the one we did on Thursday where it was like, after the show, once we turned off the show and you were like, it took you much longer to make that presentation than the show lasted, right? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, right.
We spent more than an hour putting that thing together. But anyhow, it's all in good fun and service to getting the word out about Jack Kirby and his work. And we love it, and we can talk about it a lot. And you're welcome. So we will hope to see you again soon. And maybe we'll even have some kind of goofy live event and have another auction. So stay tuned. Just watch our feeds.
Be nice to get another guest as well.
Yeah, other people. I'm tired of talking to you. It's enough.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you. See you, Tom.
See you later. Thank you again.
Yep. Bye.